All right, welcome second grade to the writing portion of your work. And so again, we're going to split this up day by day. And so for every day in your packet, we're splitting it into 2 days worth of work for you. And so today we'll be writing day one. It is March 30th. And so let's go ahead and get started today. Now, we've been working on some different types of writing in second grade. We started the year with narratives. And again, those were books that told a story. We've moved on to informational writing, and that were books that taught things. And so we did some books where we did some informational writing about animals and those kind of things. And then now we are working on opinions. And so these are books that tell what we think or what we feel. And we have just started doing our opinion writing. We just finished our first big piece and turned it in before you guys left us. And so we're going to come back to that with part of your packet today. So let's take a look at your opinion writing assignment. And so everyone go into your packets. It will be a prompt that looks like this. And it says, do you prefer to stay home on the weekends or get out and do things around town? Use the paper provided to write an essay to convince your parents to let you do what you want this weekend. So again, we are under some restrictions of what we can do, but according to this prompt, if you had a choice, would you stay at home and do things? Or do you like to go out and do things? Maybe you like to do things in nature. Maybe you like to go shopping. Maybe you like to travel places. Okay. Maybe you like to be at home and like to read. Maybe you like to stay at home and do art projects. Maybe you like to stay home and do games and those kind of things. Okay. And so decide which way. So are you on the side of staying home or are you on the side of going out and doing things? And so we'll come back here. All right. In second grade, we use what's called a proficiency scale to decide with our writing what kind of requirements need to be involved. So, parents, this might be new for some of you as you check in, and they'll give you kind of a glimpse into what we do in our classroom. So, let's take a look at our proficiency scale. And oops, it's hidden just underneath here, so I'll have to slide it down. That'll work. All right. So this is a proficiency scale for second grade. And so again, we give scores of fours, threes, twos, or ones as we are looking at writing. Today, we're going to look in this two area because it tells us some of those pieces that need to be involved in the writing. So in an opinion piece, I can explain the difference between a fact and an opinion. So with your child, you want to talk to them about what is the difference between something that's a fact and something that's opinion. Your student should be able to give that to you. I can identify different opinions one could write about. So in this one, we have two choices, and so they should be able to identify what the two choices are. I can list different reasons that could support a particular opinion. So when you make your opinion, you're going to think, what kind of reasons can I give to support which side that I want? So if you are choosing the side staying at home, you're going to develop those reasons. And we've talked about at least 3 reasons why in each area. Or if you decide going out is what you want to do, come up with those 3 reasons. It says, I can use transition words and phrases to signal order. So in their writing, we should see that we're switching from the introduction to reason 1 to reason 2 to reason 3, right? It could be words like then, next, first, finally, okay, examples, those kind of things. I can use specific words that are related to the topic or audience. So make sure they're using strong language in there. What kind of strong words can they use to help support their opinion? I can write an opinion with reasons to support. So we just talked about making sure you have those reasons. Okay, on the second part down here, I can introduce the topic or text being studied using complete sentences. This is an area where some students have trouble. They like to put periods wherever on the page. Make sure it's a complete thought that's down there. I can include an opinion in the introduction, so make sure it's included what the opinion is in the very beginning of the essay. I can write an opinion statement using sentence frames. Okay, so like I think, blank about blank because. So sometimes we write those up on the board to help people out. I can list reason with supporting details. So for each reason, you're going to have some details that support that. And finally, I can draft a conclusion sentence using words from the opinion. So it needs to have an introduction, needs to have 3 reasons, needs to have a conclusion. So if you're a parent checking off their writing, you can come back to this, pause the video here and say, okay, does my child's writing have these important components to it? We hope so. Okay, let's slide back over here today. All right, students will remember this. We use the Oreo as a way of remembering the parts of our opinion writing. And so our opinions need to be supported with reasons and examples or evidence. So we're going to tell why you feel that way. So the first O is opinion. So in the beginning, make sure you state your opinion. Are you on the side of staying in or are you on the side of going out? R is for your reasons, right? So we want to have at least 3 reasons in there. You want to have E, evidence or examples. So now you're going to support those reasons. So not just stating 3 reasons and being done, but telling why those are important, why we'd be on your side. When you get to that conclusion, notice it's the O again. And so we're going to come back and restate that opinion and try to wrap it up and hopefully convince somebody why our opinion is the right one. All right, so this was an example from our introduction that we did about our favorite seasons. So we start with a question as a way of getting an idea on this example that we did. So did you know? And then we have something. So you want to have something that grabs the attention of the reader. I think blank is the best season. So now, instead of doing seasons, you're talking about activity. So I think it's better to, and you're going to tell us what. You're going to state your 3 reasons. You're going to give us some of those important reasons that are going to be coming up in your writing. And by the end of this book, you will think blank is the best blank too. So you're going to come up with hopefully a lead in to the actual writing. Okay. Transition words. It could be as simple as the first reason why and tell us. And make sure you support that with details. The second reason why, so we can see a transition moving from first reason to second reason. The third reason why, and you're going to give those reasons again. So make sure they have those transition words, otherwise it's hard to follow along with the writing sometimes. And finally, you're going to have a conclusion. In this book, I gave you 3 reasons why, and you're going to tell us. You're going to restate those reasons, maybe in a simplified form. And I hope I changed your mind and you now agree that it's better to what? And so you're going to now say which is better, whether it's to stay in or to go out. So it is a little more complicated than you think, staying in those opinions. So make sure you go back to that proficiency scale that I posted. You can go back and pause that video and you can check to make sure that they have those important parts in their writing. So please pause the video right here. You're going to come back tomorrow and we're going to take a look at that writing that they did and try to continue on. So right now, go ahead and pause it. We'll come back and check in with you tomorrow and see how you did. Parents, make sure you read through their writing because sometimes having them read it out loud will help them to see if their writing is making sense. Good job today. We will see you tomorrow. All right. Welcome back to writing day 1B. So we're going to come back on the second part. It is Tuesday, March 31st. And yesterday you did some opinion writing about whether it was better to stay inside on the weekend or to go out and do something. And so what did we learn? We reviewed the important components of the writing. And so if you remember, we did our writing assignment. We took our topic. We did our writing. And then we use that proficiency scale. And so we went back to make sure that those important things that we wrote about are included. And we'll pull that back up here for you again. And it's a little tough to get to, but we'll get there for you. All right, here it comes again. All right, so here's that proficiency scale. So parents, if you want to stop and pause the video right here and review with your child those important things that we talked about yesterday. Okay. And so making sure that it has an introduction, 3 reasons, details to support it, and a conclusion. And it gives you all that information right here. So you can always pause the video and you can take another look at that. All right. So let's go ahead and slide on down. The next part we're going to look at today is there's a revision scale. So when we go back at our writing, because hopefully you finished yesterday. If you didn't finish, this would be a great time to stop the video, do any finishing touches that you need to do, and then start with our revision part. Now, revision is where you go back and you try to make your writing even better. So we're going to look at that revision scale today, and hopefully it can help you out. So it says, I can generate adjectives that would describe a person, place, thing, or idea. So do you have some describing words in there? I hope so. I can decide if a description gives a reader a clear picture of a person, place, or thing or idea. So maybe your describing is giving us that picture in our head. I can decide if a reader who doesn't know much about my topic would be able to understand a specific explanation in a text. So, are you writing clearly that somebody else can picture what you're trying to say and you're describing it well? I can add details with descriptions, explanations, and examples. So, when you go back into your opinion writing, did you give examples? Did you give evidence to support each reason? So when you reread today, you might go, oh man, I gave a reason, but I didn't give any evidence to support that. On revision day, this is your chance to go back and make it even better. I can include an introduction and conclusion. All right, as you reread your story today, did it have an introduction? Did it have a beginning that grabbed our attention, told us what we were going to be writing about? Did it state the opinion? Does it have a conclusion that wrapped it up? Okay, so make sure that you have your conclusion. If you forgot what the parts were, you can go back to the beginning part of the video and it will help you out. I can rewrite a sentence so it makes sense. Maybe when you read it out loud to an adult, you realized, oops, I missed a sentence in here and my sentence doesn't quite make sense. I can write a compound sentence. Maybe you have a bunch of little short, choppy sentences. Maybe you need to combine a couple and add the word and connect them together. Okay. And I can tell if a sentence is complete. And so that's something we've worked on in 2nd grade. Do you have a complete idea in there? So if you read the sentence, would somebody understand what you're saying? So parents, make sure you're going back with them, making sure they're writing complete sentences. All right. Go ahead. Open that back up. It's thinking about it. All right, so today is revision day. It is a day about going back and making sure our writing sounds right, that it makes sense. So hopefully you're going back to check that today. So by the end of today, introduction, middle part, conclusion, all done. And then you've gone back to make it even better. So it's an example of your best work. Okay, at this point, you're going to pause the video. You're going to come back tomorrow and we're going to talk about the next steps we can take in your writing to make it even better. So hopefully you're doing a great job checking your writing, making sure it's an example of your best work. Thank you for tuning in. Again, mission accomplished today. You have now hopefully completed day 1 and we will continue on with the parts of day 2 tomorrow. So thank you for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow.